What's up, guys? I'm here with Tim Riley at Collective. We're about to do a
We're at C4.
We're at C4?
Yeah, it's not Collective anymore. Run it back!
I'm here with Tim Riley. We're training out of the C4 or Nutravolt headquarters today. Tim, walk us through what we're going to be working on today.
Yeah, for sure. So off camera, Blennis and I both were just like, what do you need to do today? What would you normally do today? And this is kind of what we came up with. First thing we're going to start off with is a dynamic warm-up, because blowing out your Achilles after flying from Minnesota is super whack. So after the dynamic warm-up is going to be some form of resisted sprint, an unresisted sprint, and do you want a hack squat?
Hack squat sounds amazing.
I fucking love that about you. Let's go like full send. Full send. Anything we're missing here? They in fact did not do half of those things.
I feel good about it, dude.
I do too.
I'm looking forward to getting some more sprint work in. I officially started sprinting last week, so this is session number 2. See how much I've improved since last Friday with Welty.
Let's go. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Shout out Welty. Let's look marginally athletic for YouTube. Try and get some rotation, some lateral flexion, which I have very small amounts of. My mid-thoracic spine, I'm just a brick.
The feedback I've gotten on the few sprints I've done is that I look really stiff.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, your low back must be super tight. It's really not.
It's not.
Like my range of motion, like rotation and stuff is actually really good.
It's like elite.
But
yeah.
When I sprint, I lock up.
If you haven't been sprinting, throwing, or doing things like that, a lot of your efforts in the gym, when you're focusing the most and you're focusing on putting the most output, the way that manifests is locking up. And so what I had to unlearn, and part of my sprint journey I've been on the past year and a half, so much of it has been about trying to find harmony between high effort and being relaxed. Because subconsciously I associate high effort with this, even when I'm not trying to fucking do that. So before sprints, I'll be doing this shit, trying to just be like a noodle. I did a train him up with Blaine where he was like, you gotta relax more. I'm like, I know. And then I over relaxed and ran slower. And he was like, what happened? I said, I relaxed too much. He was like, keep that relaxed, but be more violent. You're gonna hit a PR. Hit a PR. At some point, at least for me, trying harder negatively impacts my ability to do those things fluidly.
If I have enough time to really open up, I think I can relax.
Yes.
But when it's a short acceleration, like 40 or whatever,
yeah,
it's just like,
yeah. Totally. 100%. Even high school athletes, I train here, it's always the kids that are type A, they make good grades, they're position work, they care about every little detail. And then I get them out here to sprint and they do this just front to back. There's nothing happening.
Yeah.
Because they're trying so hard. And it's trying to find a way to communicate okay, I want you to try hard, but care less.
It's so hard though, I can tell myself to relax.
Yes.
And there's a difference between knowing to do it and actually doing it.
100%. Let the pendulum swing so far in the other direction that you feel so relaxed that it's there's a negative.
Slowly turn the dial up.
And then and then just hang on to that. And what will happen is you can start to layer violence on top of that relaxation.
I haven't coached sprinting, but with gymnastic stuff, I take the same approach. People trying to learn a muscle up, it's the same thing. They just lock up and they make it so much harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Where I'll start relax too much and let's just do some really relaxed hip swings where you just feel like you're floating in the air, and then turn up the intensity to start getting the hips higher and that kind of thing. Versus if you force it out of the gate, you just make it so much harder than it needs to be.
You can layer intensity on top of the relaxation. You can't layer relaxation on top of intensity. You're at your threshold, buddy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jesus.
You know, one of my favorite things is watching a really high level athlete who's about to do some wild shit. Be like, oh.
Right. Literally it all hurts, everything aches. It's are you sure, man? That's how I'm feeling today. I mean, this left calf is sore. I'm gonna have to ease into it. For most of my life, it's oh, I'm sore, fuck it. But it's because I could get away with it. I don't get away with it anymore, you know?
There's an age component to it, but I also think there's a fitness component of when you're operating at a higher level, it's more speed, more damage.
You're so right. We're gonna go to the top of the free throw line, top of the key here, forward and in reverse. And the energy you're trying to bring to this is relaxed, but springy. Nice. Quick. Yeah, there you go. Don't lean back, keep your chest. Yes, sweet.
Good cue on the lean.
We're gonna go 70%, 80%, 90%, then 100%, 10 yards.
I feel like I'm too tempted to like try to get my feet moving fast.
Yes, it's
Where
everybody.
I feel like had pretty good stride length out of the gate.
So that's been an active effort, and I was just coaching up someone this morning, middle linebacker, and I only give input if I feel like it actually matters. Like I try to shut the fuck up, because a lot of times guys will run a couple reps. I'm like, I don't like this and that, and then their third rep, they're warm now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now it's like, but his wasn't getting better, and I said, hey, so your first 3 to 5 steps here, you're short and choppy, and you're operating under the system that quicker equals faster.
Yeah.
And it's not. Particularly with him, he's like 6'3".
Yeah.
So like he needs to take advantage of those longer limbs and really get out horizontally. I said that, showed it to him, he said, "Aw, bet." And then the next rep, you know what I mean? Which by the way is what makes the good athletes the good ones, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, no, I got it, no problem,"
Yeah.
you know? Like that was already better. If you didn't know anything about sprinting, if all you knew is don't let athletes stand up too fast, keep their chin down and have them project out, you've got the acceleration part figured out for like most people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And you sound like real smart, you know, like it's like, oh, I stood up too quick. Saw it. It's like, no shit. He was standing straight up and down at 5 yards, you know? Even when you were set up here, you were kind of like here.
Yeah.
So you can do one of two things. One, a falling start. Or make them start from a push-up position.
Sure.
Have someone say go, and then suddenly your first 2 steps, you're projecting out. You're so strong and powerful, even with a shin angle that's almost vertical. You're able actually to get some displacement. Like look at how far your center of mass is traveling still because you're so fucking strong. What I'm gonna focus on for you is finding a way to get your shin angle closer to the floor on these sprint efforts.
Okay.
Let's look at mine. You see my shin angle changing and dropping towards the floor. I wanna see more of that out of yours. Your shin angle in general improved a ton. Ready, go! God, that was so much better. These fixtures in strength conditioning in particular, Forshansky, Charlie Francis, all these like trailblazers, and they're brilliant. But a lot of time has passed. There are so many coaches in the strength conditioning space who are effectively just like NPCs, and they just copy and paste. It's these groups of people that get around, they're like, Forshansky, and everyone goes, Forshansky, and they all say Forshansky together, and they're like, yeah, he said it, fuck yeah, and then that's it. And there's no further investigation, and it's like, I have a fucking problem with that. Some people are gonna hear that and think that I'm saying we do away with everything that, you know, with people who have come before us. Not at all. Quite the opposite. I just don't think that your training philosophy, how you approach certain situations, have to be run through the filter of these coaches that were in, for the most part, completely different settings and circumstances than 90% of the strength and conditioning fields. The idea of doing something just because you're supposed to do it, I have such a fundamental problem. Like, ever since I was little, rules that feel arbitrary to me, I can't fucking stand that.
I love squat bench dead as much as the next guy. Right. I love a barbell as much as the next guy. But when people make the argument that's like, what's with all the new fancy shit or whatever, like the basics have always worked, I'm like, the basics are completely arbitrary. Somebody made that up.
It's all made up.
It's all made up.
Literally all of it is made up. I feel like practicality as a principle should precede all of your acronyms. We like 3-letter acronyms, and we like to fit things in a nice pretty box because it makes us feel smart and organized and in control. But like, you don't have to have those things to be a good coach. After a certain point of time, like, you operate within those confines of the safety that everyone else is gonna nod their head and say, you're doing a great job. After a while, what I found is like, it's not good enough. And I don't wanna make training decisions with belligerent adherence to some model instead of making decisions based off what's right in front of me.
It's worked for me, it's worked for my athletes, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't doubt you when you say that it's worked, but I want to know, why did it work? What's happening?
Yes.
And sometimes when like a running strength coach or whatever says that like specificity worked, okay, why did that happen? when you made your training more specific, your outputs went down. When your overall output, your intensity, your gym training stress is going down because now you're doing more stuff on one leg or whatever, of course your runners felt better.
Yeah,
obviously.
You're doing less.
But it wasn't specificity.
It was the reduction in intensity and volume. Yeah.
But people just take those words for granted.
Here, get in here, do a warm-up set. That's been what's like burning me up lately. I think you should pay homage to the people who mentored you and helped develop you as a coach. On the other end, if you're just riding the coattails and regurgitating what other people did and said before you ever showed up to the party and utilizing that as the basis to launch yourself into that status, you're not a coach. You're an NPC, you know? What are we going to talk about on the podcast later?
I don't know, dude. No idea.
I think we can just rip, honestly. It's crazy busy now because with the NFL guys back, today I'm going to go, including the podcast. I got here at 7, the podcast will end at 7, and I am like straight through.
Yeah.
So this workout is actually like, this is the break of the day,
right?
You know? Yeah. It's busy, it's a lot, you know? And then like, I've got my daughter several times a week. I'm coaching her basketball team.
I'm sure a lot of people are very curious what it's like to work with elite athletes, like actual NFL players. What is something that's like that people might not expect about us?
Training itself is not hard. The training is intense. I don't mean that like what we're doing isn't like hard stuff. I mean like it's not complicated. Best case scenario, I have these guys for 9 weeks in a row. They're coming off of a long season. And depending on the team, they've either hardly been training or almost virtually not training at all. You can kind of toss the elite athlete thing out of the window for a while and you just look at it on an individual basis. It's like, oh, here's someone who hasn't done a fuck all for a month. And so those first few weeks are like, the volume's not high. It's not super intense and guys are getting fucking wrecked, bro.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, that's not the point. I'm not trying to, but like, it's just a byproduct of not doing anything and then doing something. And so I think the common misconception is like these guys are dialed in 24/7. They're all, no, not at all. The goal is that over the course of this 6 to 9 weeks, assuming they show up every day, is that I get them in a position where they are as dialed as they can be going into OTAs.
No one's that dialed 24/7, 365.
No, no. And certainly like playing an NFL season and playing on Sundays, like, bro, I play pickup basketball for 30 minutes. I'm in shambles for days. I can't imagine what that's like, you know?
Do you ever have a challenge getting like a bunch of athletes who are, and no disrespect to you, you're a fine specimen,
Yeah,
but there's levels to it.
totally.
Do you ever have difficulty getting someone who is like up here to listen to you about on the coaching side?
Here's how that goes. It's not like, hey, this is real important. This is why I think it's important for you. And they're like, no, I'm not doing it because I don't think it's important. I've actually never run into that. What I've run into is I'm not doing that no matter what the fuck you say. What I've come to realize is like, there's probably not anything that's so important.
You have to do it.
There's probably no hill worth dying on where I'm like, no, we are doing this or else our working relationship's over. Most of the time, like if someone's apprehensive about something, most of the time it's like, hey, I don't catch the power clean because I broke my wrist in college. It's like, that's a good enough reason for me. If people are here to train, particularly like in those group settings, like with the NFL guys, like if anything, it's the opposite. If we're doing cleans and a guy has had an injury in the past, he's like, nah, fuck it. I haven't cleaned in 4 years, but today I'm cleaning. If anything, I'm the one. I'm like, yo, are you sure about that?
They probably get competitive with
100%.
Yeah.
So if anything, it's like more about reeling people in and being like, no, dude, you do not need to do another rep. Look, the times on your sprints show that your last 2 sprint reps were dog shit compared to your best one. You are done. I know that he's running another one. You're not him today, you know?
Yeah. On that note, I'm not going to let you beat me on hack squats. I don't care how much bigger than me you are.
Yeah, Blennis. I do feel like maybe I can beat you.
I bet you beat me on the heavy 3. I bet I beat you on the back down.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I'm just putting it out there for Tim Riley to outlift me. He needs a belt.
I'm not even ashamed of that, dude. That's also true.
Go.
Come on. What a freak. Goddamn. We have to do back down sets now. What do you think? Just to play it off and go?
Play it off and go. Yeah, see what you got. What do you think, 10?
No.
What?
You think I'm going to get 10 reps in this?
Yeah.
Honestly, fuck you for even suggesting I should get 10. That was a fucked up thing to do. Because now I feel like I have to do 10 or I'm a failure. And this is going on the internet.
If you do really well here, I'll probably cut it. Push! Don't stop. 4 more. Push! Yep! Yes! Oh, yeah. Dude, you still could have kept going.
Oh my God.
That was sick, dude.
Wow.
Ten's piece of cake.
Wow. 10's a piece of cake, motherfucker. What the fuck is happening right now? Holy shit, Glennis. Let's go. Come. Wow. Come on. Let's go, Glennis. Let's go. Come on. Yes, sir. Up, 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 up. Yeah. Good job.
21, right?
Yes, good job. He just doubled it. No big deal.
That was kind of nasty.
That was insane. Honestly, I'm just glad I've lived long enough to witness that. Maybe we can do a YouTube poll. What's more impressive, the top set or the reps? I'm gonna vote reps right now. I know where my vote goes. That was nuts.
The reps are just more unusual.
Yeah.
I think if you took most endurance athletes and trained them up,
Yeah.
that's what would happen.
Yeah.
I might have had one more.
Stop.
Dude, every muscle in my legs are done.
Yeah, I'm cooked.
You know what I really like about this whole thing is the whiteboard section at the beginning.
We've done half of it. Maybe. And out of order. It's like, like the narrator comes in, it's like, he did in fact not graduate high school. You know what I mean? It's like they in fact did not do half of those things, you know?
Oh, dude, holy shit.
Groin cooked.
God. When you dig that deep.
Yeah. Everything else has to show up to the party.
Yeah, it's not just quads anymore.
No.
I didn't know you could use your groin so much on a hack.
You get deep enough, you can use your groin for anything. Oh my God, dude.
Getting tough?
I'm cooked.
I'm gonna try these stiff, like totally straight leg. I've never done that before, but that's so hard. Oh my God.